So Blu52, welcome to For the Souls podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, you drove all the way out here from Stockton. You are my first Stockton guest.
Hey, let's go.
I'm trying to get way more diverse and
Mhm.
just, network outside of Sacramento, but you really stood out to us and you were one of the first ones we wanted to have on because of your musical talent. But for me, one of the things that caught my eye the most about you was your mindset. And that's what I want. I want to dive deep on that and how you even became this young man that you are.
Okay. I appreciate it.
So let us know what your childhood was like. Where did you grow up?
So, I grew up in Stockton, predominantly out north. My childhood was like rough, but it was like it's how I grew up, so it was natural for me. You know what I mean? And then as I got older, I started to realize, like, man, a lot of things that I learned growing up was wrong. You know what I mean? So
Rough in what sense, if you don't mind
as
elaborating?
far as like moving different locations, I went to like 4 or 5 different schools before high school. You know what I mean? And then just like the living conditions. So like I remember when I was like 4 years old, it's like 14 of us in like a 3-bedroom house. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I'm a kid. I got all my cousins and siblings, and so it's hella fun. And then, you know what I mean? But when you get older, you like, man. And then it's like other situations, it's like probably like 8 to 10 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, man, that was like tough. But
I hear you with that. We lived, before we got our house, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and we had our 3 kids. And I remember we set a goal for ourselves. We were like, in 3 years' time, we want to own a house.
yeah.
And I mean, it was a fucking roach motel. I ain't gonna lie. Like, kid you not, like hella. Like, I had to scoot my couch away from the fucking counter. That's how many roaches was in that bitch. And it is a humbling experience, but in many ways, and I don't know if it was like this for you, I'm sure, but it motivates you even more to want to change those things that were normalized for you growing up.
Definitely.
So that like instability of moving place to place and whatnot, what did that teach you about life?
That it's not easy, and it's tough and cruel, and you can't expect people to be raised how you were raised, or to like act how you would act in certain situations. So it's like kind of not to expect anything from anybody. You know what I mean? So
No, that's a gem. Because I think for me personally, I think one of my biggest fuck ups when it came to like connecting with people is that I've always expected me out of them. And then when they wouldn't come through, like loyalty or, whatever it may be, principles of shit. When I would see how they handled shit, it was like it made the disappointment 10 times worse.
Facts.
And it was like I was letting my own self down because I'm putting these expectations on people when they ain't me. Like I'm hurting myself. Realizing that out of life, did it change your connections with people?
Definitely. Like and like hindsight always 20/20. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I needed that so I could grow from it. And then it needed to happen when it did, because if they were here with me now, it could be more detrimental. You know what I mean? So it's like me and my bro Lou, we always say like, man, everybody can't go. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people we started with that ain't here, you know, that cut themselves or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't save everybody.
Yeah, that's 100%. Sometimes I think to myself, like with the people that have fallen off in my life, I'm like, man, even if they were to reach back out, it's like,
Cause you got a good heart. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I would help you. But it's like to an extent, because I know, you know what I mean?
You can't be foolish.
Yeah.
You got to watch the company you keep. And when someone shows you their true colors or their mentality, you know what I mean? I feel like once I see someone's character, the way they handle shit, their whole perspective on shit, it kind of goes back to like, expecting me out of people. But to an extent, to keep it a buck, I do expect a little bit of me and people to be in my circle.
For sure.
Like, you got to be loyal.
For sure.
The fuck you mean I'm going to have you around and you ain't loyal? Like, no,
Facts.
And I think it's good to have those boundaries and standards, though, because like you said, the company you keep is everything. That could make or break you, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
So taking it back to your childhood, did you grow up with your mom and your dad?
Yeah, both parents.
Good.
Yeah, so it was, I was blessed to have that.
Hey,
Yeah,
for
I was
real.
blessed to have that.
I
For
tell my
sure.
kids that all the time because they have friends that come from, broken homes. I myself, I was in a blended family. And when you're a kid, you don't really realize how blessed you are until you're an adult and realize the blessing behind it. But I tell them all the time, y'all are so lucky that you have me and your dad. Because it does set a good foundation.
Definitely.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Definitely, for real. And they used to tell me, like, because, like, they, like, my parents was, like, somewhat strict when it came to certain things. And they would tell me, like, you looking at your other friends that don't have their dad, or your cousins, or whatever the case may be, but you gonna see where they gonna be at when y'all get older. And then we got older, and I'm like, damn,
I seen it.
like I see it, like, you know what I mean, like that's just crazy.
Out of your parents, who was the one that like taught you most of your values, or do you feel like it was equal between the both?
It was equal. My dad, he was more the loving type, you know what I mean, like he like, as far as like whoopings and spankings and things like that, he wasn't really. But mom, she was the enforcer. Like, I'm not here to be your friend. You know what I mean? Like, this what it is. You don't want to do it. Hey, then this is how we finna get down. Like,
and the mass weapons would come.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we need more of that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I definitely feel like we do.
Yeah, they molded me for sure.
When you were younger, did you look at the ass whoopings like as a negative?
Yeah. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get whooped. Like, this is, you feel me? See, especially when they be like, oh, it's gonna hurt me more than it's hurt you. I don't want to do. What is you talking about? You not feeling this? Like, it's belt to ass right now. You're not feeling this. Like, yeah. But as I got older, I'm like, I needed it. Yeah. I needed it for sure.
Yeah, same. Because my dad was like that. My dad was hella. He was strict with certain things. He was very big on teaching me values, but the way in which he taught me those values, it was a little questionable, you know what I mean? But he was hella always on my ass, like nose in the corner, pay attention, head on a swivel, like constantly. That it kind of like when I was little, I admittedly, it felt like too much pressure. I was like, oh my God, you know, like I'm just trying to like skip and not cross the fucking, not step on the lines on the road, you know? And even just little things like that. I'd be walking on the sidewalk looking down, pick your head up, you know? In retrospect, I'm like, wow. Now that I'm an adult and I see how I am, it's shaped so much of my mentality and who I am. And I'm so thankful for it. So thank you, parents, for the ass whoopings.
No, for real.
And the molding.
For real. And that's funny that you said that, because that's how my dad was. Like, and because my dad from Chicago, my mom's from Stockton. My dad come from like that street life. So like he had me when he was 44, and I'm on like the tail end of all my other siblings.
How many siblings do you have?
So I got 7 sisters and I got 4 brothers.
Oh, dang, you got a big family.
My dad, he was out there. So my mom, she the last, you feel me, of the Mohicans. She got the best part of me. Yeah, and then I'm her oldest, and then it's I got a brother under me and I got a sister. We got a baby sister, and then so I got to see like everybody else, the older cousins, the older siblings mess up. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if I want to do that, I know how not to do it. I know how not to get caught. I know how to, you know what I mean? But my dad was out of the life by then, but it's still, what you call, like, almost like second nature. Yeah. So if we like driving home, I'm 10 years old, you know what I mean? We driving home, he'll spin the block before he parked, you know what I mean? And he'll tell me why. Oh, what street we on? I'm like, I don't know what street we on, you know what I mean? You need to learn your streets. You need to learn your back streets. You know what I mean? How you gonna get home if you lost and if you in a situation? How I'm gonna know where you at? Oh, the McDonald's. I know how to get home from here. Like, nah, landmarks might not be there. You need to know streets and different stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like, you know. Yeah. So, like, yeah, it definitely made me beyond my years. I grew up a little fast, but it was worth it though, for sure.
Yeah, like, and you seem to me to be a very like observant type of person.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I was probably the big sibling making all the mistakes, but my sister, she's the one that's like, hell nah, she's a smooth criminal.
Yeah, that's me.
My dad be like, your sister would never. I'm like, she would.
Yeah, no,
you just would never know about it.
And that's how it is. So I'm the one that's observant. I was like kind of like the leader. So like due to like circumstances, we be, home by ourselves. We all home by ourselves at like 11. You know what I mean? Like, hey, don't open this door for nobody. Anybody live here? They got a key. Like, this and this and that.
Yeah.
So, my brother, the one under me, he's the more daredevil. You know what I mean? He gonna do what he want to. Yeah, he the second one, and he the one always getting in trouble or doing stuff, and they thinking it's me. And thinking he innocent, you know what I mean? I was like, oh my
How many years apart are you guys?
We 18 months apart.
Oh, so you guys are super close
in age.
Yeah,
we super close, yeah.
Did you guys fight a lot growing up?
Yeah, in a sense. But I always knew, like, I had to protect him.
Yeah.
And so my brother, he legally blind. But he could see, though. Like, it's not terrible, you know what I mean? But it is to where, like, he can't drive. He couldn't play football.
Yeah.
Just, little things like that. But always knew I had to protect him. But he got a mouth on him.
Yeah.
So when we would be out, we'd be in school, he running his mouth, you know what I mean? Things like that, because we came from the same upbringing. So we fighting with all our cousins, you know what I mean? Different things like that. Like, so when we get in school and different things like that, he like, man, I'm ready for whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm like, hey, I'm not finna watch you get beat on or whatever. Like, it don't even matter if you winning or not, but I'm stepping in. But at home, we for sure fought a lot, like, because he had his own mind. He want to do what he want to do. And then he's always been like a kid at heart.
Yeah.
So like anybody that know my brother, like, oh, he hella funny, he hella goofy. And I'd be like, this motherfucker is annoying. Like, come get him. Like, you
come
know
live
what I
with
mean?
him and you guys
come live with him, because he joke all the time. Everything is funny, but so we fighting all the time.
Yeah, I asked because my girls, I feel like they just go at it so much. And they're actually 3 years apart. And then my middle two are a year and a half apart. But I feel like they're all constantly going at it. But at school, they all hella do have each other's back.
Yep.
Like, no one's going to be punking nobody. They have that solidness. So I was like, I thought I'd ask to see if it, how it's going to look like as they grow to kind of get an idea. Speaking of football, I lurked through your stuff. I think you had a picture of you playing football. You could cough, you're good. I could edit it out if necessary. And I had the question, Blu52. Is that a football play? It is, huh?
Yeah, that's how I came up with the name. My friend Meech, she like, we was coming up with like a rap name, you know what I mean, throwing ideas out there, and I had a couple other ones, and she always called me Bluey.
Yeah.
And so like that kind of stuck, and then like I was always like running plays and cause football and things like that. So I'm like, okay, that kind of go inside, like, you know what I mean? So that's how we came up with that. And it was like, yeah, Blu52.
No, that's
and
cool. Yeah, I thought so, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I've heard Blu52. Like, and I was like, no, maybe I'm tripping, because I don't know that much about football. Everything that I know about football, he's told me.
Blu42, a lot of different ones. Yeah.
And I think that goes hand in hand with where you're from, right? Valverde Park?
So Valverde Park, our block is 2400, but 52 came from 52 Weeks. So my cousins, they had a label, 52 Weeks Entertainment, before I started even thinking about rapping.
Yeah.
And so like we was pushing that hard, you know what I mean? And then so like when I came up too, I'm like, oh, the 52 going perfect, because we got the 52 Weeks. So yeah, that's what came from that.
Oh, okay.
52 Weeks.
And the Valverde Park, those are Crips?
We got all Crips, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Except we got for sure.
So So we'll get to that. Your adolescence. So we know a little bit about your childhood. Oh, one more thing I was gonna ask: were you always a person of faith?
Yeah. So I grew up in church. They always in church. Yeah. I was born.
And you never lost your faith throughout growing up?
Nah. Y'all always pretty much stuck to that. That's pretty much like what shaped my morals and like the right and wrong too. Like even out in the streets, like when I'm making my decisions and stuff like that, like that always kind of kept me, you know what I mean? Like I'm not finna cross this line. Like, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So
yeah, I think having a good spiritual understanding when, we've lived the lives we've lived or been in has come in handy a lot.
For sure.
I feel like the grace of God in my life has been very prevalent.
Definitely.
And I look back and I'm just like, man, there's so many times that things could have totally went the wrong way. And my faith has kept me on track.
Definitely.
And that's one thing that I really enjoyed about you when I like started following you and my husband showed me who you were. I was like, wow, you openly talk about your faith, which I don't really see that many people do, to be honest.
No, because they think it's like, I mean, it's frowned upon or it make you look weak or, you know what I mean? Things like, oh, you a church boy. Like, I used to get that a lot growing up too. Oh, your grandpa a pastor, you know what I mean? Things like that. Oh, you a church boy, you not gonna do nothing. And like, I had anger issues growing up and they didn't know that. Yeah. But my first instinct is to like, I had pride and my first instinct was always fight. So it's like, yeah, we in church, but I punch you in your shit. You know what I mean? like, you know, so, but that's why, like, I think like as people like the others like who don't really be as open as about their faith, like it's just they don't want to seem weaker or just maybe afraid, you know what I mean? But there ain't nothing to be afraid of, because I done been through some things, as I'm sure y'all have, you know what I mean? It's like, man, like if God wasn't there, like, you know what I mean? Or some things that I can't even explain, like that happened, like this should have happened, but it didn't. Yeah. And only thing I could, you know what I mean, come up with is God. Like, yeah.
Do you have a story for us?
Yeah.
Can we hear one? What is one of the biggest miracles?
So when, a dude, like we had a house party, it broke out, whatever, like, you know what I mean? I'm telling my boy, like, don't go outside, like, I ain't got no thing on me, but we staying here, you feel me? I squad with you all day. So like, he not really like, no, you feel me? He not like that, like, and so he get kind of spooked and he go outside. I'm like, damn, I know what's finna happen. So I'm like, do I stay inside or do I go outside and try to save my bro? Like, you feel me? So I go outside and we like probably like 5 feet from the shooter, like, you know what I mean? And then he, whatever happened, he get the busing, and I'm like, you know, I can't, where I'm gonna run to, I can't, you know, he 5 feet away from him, like, but everything missed me, and I'm like, ain't, like, when it was happening, everything went slow motion, and I felt like something on my back, like, just like a hand or an angel or whatever the case may be, like, you know what I mean? And it was just, it was a surreal feeling. Yeah. And but my boy ended up getting hit though, but he didn't die. Like, and so like it went through his shoulder, came out his chest. Another one broke his leg, and then the one that came out his chest was like 2 inches from his heart. Oh my. And I'm like, bro, that's the grace of God. Like, you know what I mean? Because they took him to a whole different hospital, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes away. Like, and it was just crazy. Wow. Yeah.
You know, I really believe too that the prayers of our parents really protects us spiritually. You know, they say to pray. I feel like in my life, I have a grandpa too. He's hella heck a Christian, super always like would pray for me, always tell me to get right with God. And in my walk and my faith, as I've grown with some of the things that I've lived through and have gotten through, I can't help but feel like, man, I think all those prayers that my family was praying for me when I was doing good, but mostly when I was doing bad in my life, I think they really spiritually gave me the armor of God and the protection of God. And that's why, you know, what's the word? I forget the fucking word. But that's why things haven't happened to me that could have really taken me out the way it has other people. That's crazy that you would even feel the presence. Yeah,
I felt it. And I'm like, hey, I felt something on me, like it was crazy. And then like another one was like, I'm like 12 years old. So my dad, he don't fly. So like we always had road trips. We go, we'll leave Stockton, go to Seattle, pick up some more siblings, and then go to like Iowa, go to, you know what I mean, Illinois, and like family reunions, different stuff like that. And so we used to always travel to Clear Lake too. It used to be a church in Clear Lake. So like one time we leaving on like one of these road trips that we on, and we don't have no gas, right? We ran out of gas, ain't got no money. It's storming like crazy. And then like in the midst of like the storm, it's $100 bill stuck to the fence. Like, you know what I mean? And then like my dad, like he pull over and sure enough, it's $100 bill. Like what? Like we didn't know how we was going, you know what I mean?
God provides.
What? Like that's crazy. And it's like a lot of stuff like you just can't explain it. You know what I mean? It's been so many times We don't know where the next meal gonna come from. We don't know how these bills finna get paid. Lights off, we lighting candles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different things like that. And it's like they didn't lose faith. And it's like we always had what we needed at the end. Like no matter how bad it looked, we always had what we needed. And I'm like, ain't no other explanation.
Yeah.
Like, you
That
know what I
just
mean?
seals
Like
your faith,
it
huh?
just seals it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. When there's people that have tried to like, I don't know, I guess combat me on my faith or whatever, it's like you don't know the miracles I've lived. Like I can't explain it. You don't know what I felt. You don't know
Man.
the darkness I've been in, and I can't explain it to you in a way that's gonna make sense to you. But
Yeah.
in my life, the way I felt it and lived it, ain't no
Mhm.
way it wasn't something more than me.
Facts.
You know?
That's real.
But that's hella awesome that you've had those miracles happen in your life that have sealed your
Yeah.
faith. I think that's gonna take you a long way.
Facts.
And I think that's what probably separates you too from the rest.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's why like too, like when I first started, like I always had a harder time. It's because I wasn't following the crowd. I'm not really talking about what everybody else talking about or doing it the way they doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like damn, like they not appreciating me right now. But it's like, but somebody is though. Somebody listening. Somebody I'm touching. Somebody is taking something from my story, and somebody gonna hear it and be like how I felt when I was listening to music and the music that was getting me through when I was coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like,
And even more so than that, your presence. Just to embody the Holy Spirit within you and stand so confidently in it, and then go and take that back to say homies or people that don't have that strong of faith or didn't grow up with that spiritual foundation. The presence of what you embody and who you are is unconsciously probably impacting the people around you too.
facts.
And
Facts.
that is the beauty of walking with God. He uses us in ways that we may be unconscious of, but it's impactful to those around us. So that's awesome.
real.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that because I love
that's
me some
real.
God right there.
I'm telling you, that's real. What?
Yeah. So getting back to your adolescence, we went through your childhood. How were you as a kid besides observant?
So as a
You
kid,
a good listener?
I was a good listener. I was a little troubled, just cause like, so we had, like I said, I grew up with like a lot of older cousins and things like that. So, a lot of boys, you know what I mean? And then I'm on the back end, so I'm the one always getting beat up by them and my older brothers. I'm the one that's always end up crying. They used to call me a crybaby all the time and stuff like that. And so like, that's what hardened me though. It's like, shut up crying. You a boy. Don't cry. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody see you cry. Suck it up. You know what I mean? Get in there and fight. Do this. Do this. You know what I mean? So, but like internally, because I didn't know how to talk, express myself, okay, oh, that's getting bottled up. You know what I mean? So if I'm getting mad, I'm the one that's crying, but I'm finna fight you though. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, you like, okay. So then as I got older, like I'm like mute, don't know how to talk. I'm disassociating, you know what I mean? Removing myself, hard to get attached, hard to, you know what I mean? Different things like that. But that stemmed from when I was younger. And then so then I was like, so I knew I had to be the protector too. So I'm not taking no bullshit. You know what I mean?
Because you're a big brother.
Because I'm the big brother, exactly.
Yeah.
So all them your mama jokes and stuff like that, I'm not hearing that. I'm punching you off rib. We not even finna play them games. And then I moved around a lot, so I'm always the new kid. So I always got to establish myself again. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
and people will try you with that
people
too.
will try you.
Like they see a new face and they just, especially if you're someone that's kind of like cool, calm, collected, and observant, you don't go with the crowd. Or I feel like my brother has struggled with that. He's hella chill. He's not on what everyone else is on. And I think in a weird way that draws more attention to him because people are like, well, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You know, and who, you know, and then they try you.
Yeah.
And until you get to a position that you got to show them like, okay, first of all, not me. I ain't the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times.
That was me. So it was but if I was comfortable, I was always goofy, laugh, jokester. You know what I mean? I love to laugh. I love to just see people smile. Like when I can make others smile, make others feel good, that's what make me feel good. So I always been like that. Like,
good at heart.
Yeah, for sure.
But a hard ass too.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Like
That's a healthy balance right there. That is a good balance if you ask me.
Definitely.
You know, and you holy in hood.
Yeah,
Another good balance. No, there we go. Perfect.
For real.
I admire that. That's great. It's a healthy balance. I always say the balance is key to life right there.
That's it.
And you did good in school?
Yeah.
Graduated everything?
Because I graduated. So growing up too, my mom, she didn't play that. So my mom, she grew up in the hood, but she didn't bang or nothing like that. And she was more so like the one that always told me like have a plan B. You know what I mean? So I love sports. So, but she didn't really, not that she didn't care about the sports, but it was more so her focus on me was, what if that doesn't work? What you gonna do? Like, so get the degree, get this, get that. You know what I mean? And so when I was younger, I didn't understand that. And I'm like, well, you saying my plan A ain't gonna work. Like, you don't believe in me. You know what I mean? Like, so, but at the end of the day though, man, I needed what she was putting down. And so she was always like that. If your grades ain't right, you not playing. You know what I mean? And so my sophomore year, high school, basketball season, the second half, I didn't make grades. Yeah. And,
did that consequence, did it shape your perspective or did you not care about it?
Hell yeah. No, it shaped. Especially because so I didn't make grades and I had all the excuses in the world on why I didn't make grades and it didn't change nothing. And then so my consequence was I had to go to every home game and watch us lose the rest of the season after we started like 11-1. Yeah. And then the rest of the season we went like 2-9.
Because you weren't on the team?
Because I wasn't on the team. And I had to sit there and watch and everybody, oh, John, why you not playing? So that's the hood name, you know what I mean? John. And so everybody like, John, why you not playing? You need to be out there. You telling me like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? So every game I got to tell them, oh, I didn't make grades. Oh, this is what happened. And I said, this will never happen ever again.
Yeah, because that must have hurt to have to tell her. And then you have to sit there and you have to watch your team.
And watch them lose and all this. Oh, my gosh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible, yeah. I said never again.
Well, good for you for graduating and being on top of it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think just hearing that for me as a mom, we're more emotional, you know? But I do tend to be hard on the kids with certain expectations. In certain areas, he tells me I'm a little soft. So that was a good little reminder to...
Yep. No, for real. Because they need it. Because like even before then, so when I got to high school, I had started to mellow out a little bit. Because all the way up from the time I can remember, I was going to school till 8th grade, I was fighting all the time. And so my mom was like, you doing all this fighting, but when you get to the next level, like you gonna be sitting out, they're gonna kick you out. Like, so how bad do you really want to play sports? Like, and I'm like, damn, that is okay. So I'm gonna have to not be so short-tempered, not be so, handle things a little different.
I feel like your mom did a real good job at showing you how to be aware of the decisions that you're making and the cause and effect of those decisions.
Definitely.
And that's like pivotal to surviving life.
Yeah.
Because as grown adults, I mean, even as a teenager, but more so as grown adults, one wrong decision and
that's it.
There goes everything.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah. So yeah, she definitely did a good job. Every time we would sit and watch movies, like family night, you know what I mean? We watch a movie, she pausing it every 30 seconds. What did you learn? What move did he make right here that he shouldn't have? I'm like, oh my God, just let the movie play. Like, you know what I mean? But she was really just honest, like, because at the end of the day, like, you can't protect your kids from everything and it's scary. But if you instill in them what they need, then it's like you leave the rest up to God and they're gonna take care of themselves and they're gonna see when they get out there. You know what I mean? So 100%. Yeah, so I'm glad, like, you know what I mean, that she didn't a lot of parents try to shield their kids from things and then they go out in the world and get ate up because it's like, ooh, you know what I mean? And they don't know. Yep. And my mom was more like, hey, this is what's out there. This is what's gonna happen. And when it happens, this is how you handle it. Yeah. And I'm like, Then I go out there and I'm like, damn, she right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, all right, bet. I'm gonna listen a little bit.
See, that isn't such an affirmation for me because that's the approach that I take with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen both sides of the rope. The parents that shelter and shield their kids, and just they're ill-equipped when they go into real life.
Definitely.
You know, because it's not like the bubble that they were living in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've always said, even with the climate of everything going on today, if you're gonna learn it, you're gonna learn it from me. You're gonna learn it here. And I'm really big on teaching my kids to think critically.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a double-edged sword because as a parent, right, at the end of the day, I know what's best for my kids. But even getting them comfortable with, okay, I'm telling you this, but what do you think?
Yeah.
Like question me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, challenge me a little bit because I know that they gotta learn how to think, or people are gonna teach them what to think.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and it's cool to see that your mom took that approach with you, and I get to see how your mindset is, because it for me, it affirms that as a mother, I'm doing it correctly.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely
just to
doing
hear
right.
the wisdom that you got out of that. And I'm sure my kids probably are like, fuck, mom's always getting on my nerves because I'm saying this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Any opportunity to teach my kids, I'm teaching them. You know, and they probably get fucking sick of me
But
always preaching to them. But
they gonna love you for it later.
I hope so.
Sure.
I hope so. That gives me such high hopes that they will love me for it as they grow. So getting to high school, and how did this whole hood situation, getting into the hood and all the Crip stuff come about?
All right, so I got family that has been banging since before I was born. So growing up, we always had, you know what I mean, cousins and different things that was gang members and different things like that. But I never really paid attention to it because this is what I was born in. Like, what you know what I mean? It's normal. This is what life is. You know what I mean? And like even in middle school, like people walking up to me like, "Hey, you cuz or blood?" Like, you know what I mean? Like different stuff like that. Like,
and you automatically
you
knew.
a Crip or a blood? Like, and so like in middle school, it was more so like, man, I just want to play, but if you tripping, we could get down.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna let you think you could punk me, whatever. And so then we get to high school, and like as a kid, you always know when your parents are struggling, you know what I mean, and different things like that. So I was always aware from like 11 to 12, and then I'm getting to high school, and now I'm able to like move around a little bit on my own, you know what I mean? So now I'm like 14, 15, learning how to drive, doing different things, you know what I mean? I'm learning different things.
Exploring life
I'm saying, you know what I mean? And like I've always been the selfless type. So my birthday come around, I'm not asking for nothing. Christmas come around, I might ask for an item, but not too much, you know what I mean? Nothing expensive, but like throughout the year, I'm trying to get it on my own, so I ain't gotta ask you for it. You know what I mean? So then that's how like everything else kind of came in, because now I'm in the streets, I'm moving, doing a little bit, trying to be discreet about it, because if this get back to my parents, like, you feel me? I'm in trouble.
From what you told me, your parents would probably not have none of that.
So like it was like a double-edged sword, because my dad come from that, so he know how I'm moving, he noticing little things, and he would like, his perspective was like, okay, I can't stop you or prevent you from doing what you want to do out here in these streets, but I could kind of give you tips and guide you on how to just be careful. You know what I mean? And things like that. How to do dangerous things carefully. You know what I mean? Like, just like how the streets operate. Like really, and that's what I learned from my dad, was how the streets operate.
Was it enticing to be in the streets doing what you were doing? Did you
like
it?
Especially like when you making money and you know what I mean, you getting stuff and you ain't gotta ask your parents, you know what I mean, and it's for sure a good feeling. And so like it was a lot of times I'm trying to help out, you know what I mean, or like I'm getting things on my own, and my mom started catching on. She's like, where you get these shoes? Where you get this? What's going on? Hold up, time out. Like, you know what I mean? And but her first mindset is not, oh, my son out here in the streets doing whatever. Hers is, oh, you getting it out these women.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So so like the first time she was on me, she like,
oh my goodness,
she was on me. She like, don't be out here using these women. Like, you don't need no woman for nothing if you can't get it on your own
Why would she
or
think
you
that? You
can't
a little boy?
access for it. I ain't gonna lie, like I was a little flirt, you know what I mean? Like especially like being popular in sports, it's
Yeah.
easy for the, you know
The
what I mean,
attention.
for the attention to come, especially when your parents come to the games and things like that.
Yeah.
They see what's going
Yeah, because
on
it
and
strikes
things
me
like that.
as funny that moms would jump
Yeah,
immediately to
immediately.
that. So.
Like don't be using these. And so my mindset was I would rather her think I'm like a girl buying it for me or whatever than what I'm really doing.
Yeah, because then
You
that's
know what I
worry
mean?
that
Because
comes with
then
that.
exactly, you know what I mean. And then so that's how that came about. It came from trying to be independent and not be a burden on them. And yeah, I really just jumped in with the family for real.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like your dad's approach would probably be, damn, it's gonna sound fucked up to say, probably my approach too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're gonna be ultimately you're gonna do what you want to do, right? At least
Facts.
teach you how to do it the smooth way and not
Yeah.
be a crash dummy like everyone else out here.
Facts. And
So there's a one up in that, which some people might not agree with, but you don't know what you would do until you're in a position to do it. So
fact, and that's real. You know what I
kinda
mean? And then like
judgment
you
goes
said,
one way
like
or not the other.
you can't control the other side. So it's like I can only guide you and give you tips. Like I'm not just gonna say don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and then let you go out here and move funny. And
Yeah.
then you know what I mean? And that's kind of like what ties into my music too, is cause like if you gonna do it correct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like get life insurance. Do like you know what I mean? Do different stuff. Make sure your family's set. Make sure you know what I mean. You out here moving correct, not being stupid and all that
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so it definitely helped me for sure.
Oh, good. Speaking of the music,
Mm-hmm.
did that come about after high school, during high school?
So I mean, like
Is it still fresh?
it's so when I took music seriously, I started in 2021.
Okay.
But it's always been like a part of me. So like I got cousins that's musicians. My grandpa, he's a musician. My uncles, a lot of them was in the music. You know what I
You
mean?
mentioned the 52.
The 52 weeks, and
The 52
then
weeks, there we go.
and even like growing up in church, like a lot of my cousins and stuff was like drummers or playing the piano or uncles on the guitar. My grandpa played the organ, like you know what I mean. So like I was always like musically inclined or had an ear for music. And then we get to high school and like, you know, everybody like on the bus going to the next school or whatever. Like we freestyling, we doing different things. You know what I mean? Yeah, the pencil. Yeah, lunch table, you know, you all going crazy. And so I would participate sometime, but it was never really like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
It just felt good.
Yeah.
So then when we get older and you pushing the 52 weeks thing, I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, and then they like, you hear all the time, you might as well try it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, I just want to support y'all. Like, you know, and I had other cousins on the outside like, Cuddy, come rap.
Were you nervous? Is that why?
It wasn't my thing. So my thing is if you got a passion and it's not my passion, then like I'm gonna support you still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to do this, all right? What you need? I'll throw some money in the pot, so you could go do what you needed to do. Like if we gonna further the hood, we gonna further the set. Like we trying to get to where we trying to get to.
Yeah.
Like
You
we
see the
need to
bigger-
link
the
up.
bigger
Yeah,
vision.
I see the bigger picture. You feel me? And so then it turned into like them like, well, come rap. Like you hear all the time, you support. Like come rap.
Yeah.
And then like I like nah. Then I started it. And then I just fell in love with the process, and I'm like, bro, this feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're good at it.
Thank you.
You're good at it. That's what, I mean, we haven't mentioned it yet, but that's what got my husband to see who you were. And then he showed me your stuff, and he was like, you got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, when he hit me, I was juiced. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he
for
showed me
sure.
your music. I was like, wait, who is this? Wait, he showed me one song. Babe, what song was it? Was
Sensu
it that
Bean?
one?
Yeah, Sensu Bean. That's that one for sure.
Yeah, that is that one. And you were saying something hella real, and I was like, who the hell is this saying some deep ass shit in this song?
Yeah.
Like it was game, you know what I mean? And it was different for me to hear compared to the type of music that everyone else is putting out. Because everyone, you know, of course there's this, you know, way of rapping when you're in the hood and living that life and all this stuff, right? But it's kind of rare you come across somebody that's actually teaching you wisdom in their music.
Yeah.
Sure, you have your music where you've talked about girls and booty and all this other stuff. I think I commented on your post the other day because I was like, what in the world did he just say? But you have gems in there too, where you're actually, I mean, showcasing your mind the way you have on this podcast.
Right.
And that was something that really caught my eye. And I was like, this is the type of people that I would love to platform right here because it's real.
Facts.
And it's needed.
Facts.
And I feel like not even to talk shit about nobody, but we've platformed so many voices that lack the wisdom. And there's so much power in that influence. And I'm like, man, we need some solid people that got some solid advice for people to come back and platform.
No, that's real. And that like I give a lot of that credit too to my bro Lou Thomas. We used to be in the warehouse like just talking like, man, it's gonna get better. And then when I started rapping, because he been rapping, you know what I mean? And so I was supporting him. And then when I started rapping, like I would rap to him what I had wrote. And then like at first I had started off on like the hard gangster shit and all the, you know what I mean, guns and all this, the gun bars and stuff like that. And he told me, he was like, bro, like think about what kind of image you want to set. And like he told me straight up, he was like, I don't think that's how you should come out.
Yeah.
Like, you know
that's
what
solid.
I mean? And that's what I needed for sure. And now we here. Like, you know what I mean?
It set
like,
you apart.
He set 100%. Me apart for sure. It set me apart. And yeah, so I appreciate bro for that. And that's what like I think separate me from a lot of people too is like my circle and my family. They not yes men. They not yes people, you know what I mean? Who do that. They like, nah, I don't think you should do that, bro. I ain't fucking with that or whatever.
They're honest with you.
They're gonna be honest.
And I say this all the time. Honesty, in my opinion, is the truest form of love. You could have people in your face telling you everything you want to hear all the time, and it might feel good, but is it conducive to the life that you want or see for yourself? Is it conducive to building your character? Probably not. I'd rather have people around me that ain't scared to tell me the truth, and if it's going to add to the correction of my direction or myself, because that to me shows me you really care.
Definitely.
You ain't scared to hurt my feelings if the redirection is going to be better for me, and I appreciate that.
And that's real. And that's what so like I'm always been a perfectionist. So I love constructive criticism. You know what I mean? So like when they would tell me no, like or that they didn't like something, they would tell me why. Yeah. And I think that's the difference too, is like you get some people that tell you like no, but they not telling you why or suggesting something different or you know what I mean, different things like that. So like a lot of that I had to weed out too, because it's like, okay, are you here for me or is you hating?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't like something, that's fine. Tell me what you don't like about it though.
Yeah, so that you can fix it.
Exactly.
So you can study and perfect your craft.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. How far do you plan on taking music, or like where do you see yourself going with this?
Honestly, I see myself pivoting already. So maybe like at the end of this year, maybe next year, I'll be in something different. I'll probably still write, put music out, but it won't be like a sole focus just because it's so like the music industry is going in a different direction. Yeah. And I could see it already. Yeah. And so like I'm looking into like different endeavors, you know what I mean, and things like that. Yeah.
Plan Bs?
Yeah, definitely. Plan
Bs. C,
D's, E's. No, for real. For real.
No, well, that's good to hear. Yeah. I'm glad to see though that even regardless of how far you end up taking music, the simple fact that you went on this endeavor and you tried it and you were good at it and you got the feedback, like just to even check that off the book. Yeah, you know, it's cool because there's not too many people willing to take themselves out of their element or try something new and just do it just to do it. You know, so
that's real.
Another chapter in your book, which I think is tight.
No, it is, and I'm grateful for it because it was like this journey. It's been like a journey of self-love. You know what I mean? Because it's like you do a lot of things, you might not get the traction that you want or the traction that you're looking for. Like, I'm sure, like, when you first started this, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough, like, being consistent, showing up. Yeah. Like, I got to do it. It's a lot of days that you don't want to do it. It's a lot of days that I be wanting to quit now. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I got to keep going, or I got to keep disciplining myself. And then, like, it showed when I'm listening to music that I made recently, or like people are hitting me and they like, bro, I fuck with this song so tough. And I'm like, bro, that make me feel good because a week ago, I was just ready to give it all up.
Yeah.
That song wouldn't even came out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what? I think a lot of that stems from being very a perfectionist. Because I feel like I'm the same way. I'm very much, if I'm gonna do something, I want to do it correctly, and I want it to be like the best that it is, because it's a representation of me. That's what my dad always taught me. Like, you're a reflection of us, and you're a reflection of you. And so anything I put out there, I'm like, shit, it's got to be 100% to my standards, right? So I'm very much on my own ass, on my own neck, and I've always been. And I appreciate it because it's gotten me out of a lot of things, right? But there has been those times where I'm like, man, Sally over there that sucks at this shit is getting more traction.
Crazy right now.
For what? Like, I am so much better than that. And not even on no hater shit. On some, I just recognize my talent and I know what I bring to the table.
Definitely.
But in those moments, I've had to, like you said, be disciplined. And it's not my time, Jesus. My time will come. When my time comes, stay true to who I am and my beliefs has been one of the biggest things. There's been plenty of opportunities, doors I've closed because I'm not willing to stamp that, because it's a reflection of me. If I wouldn't give it to my family, if I don't believe in it, I'm not going to say it, because integrity to me is everything. Has it been a lot fucking slower than everyone else in this motherfucker that takes off hella fast? Yes. But the quality of people that I'm meeting and networking with, the quality of the conversations, the quality of people that are seeing me and are like, okay, hold up, you're different. You're not like one of these podcasts trying to be all entertainment shit out here, you know? Like,
for sure.
I'm seeing like, all right, this is why God kept me humble and in a position for this long. And I'm just going to keep my focus on what it's always been, which is him, the hard work and the discipline, and wherever it's supposed to take me.
Yeah. Everything happened for a reason, for sure.
You know? So wherever God takes you, whatever avenue,
man,
you know?
That's it. Like,
have you met a lot of people through music?
Yeah, I met a lot of people through music. A few, like, I have relationships with forever, you know what I mean? Like, they forever my favorite. And, like, I'm always with connecting. I love meeting new people. I love just building up, you know what I mean? Like, it's that saying, like, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. You want to go far, like, go together. You know what I mean? And I believe that. Like, and so that's just what I've been trying to do, is, like, get, like, a bunch of honest people, a core group of people that, you know what I mean, that all have the same goals, and like, let's build something that we can have and take care of our families for generations. Like, I talk a lot about generational wealth. Like, it's real. Like, you know what I mean? And it'd be like, why we can't do that? You know what I mean? Like, these white folks doing it, why we can't come together and, you know what I mean, put something together and do that. And so, yeah, that's what I be wanting, for sure.
Not everyone sees the vision. Sometimes I find, like, a lot of people are still stuck in the divisive mindset of being against each other when we're actually stronger in numbers. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But with time, I hope that people end up seeing what we see. Yeah. You know? Because as soon as they fucking see it, we're unstoppable. You know? Until then, we're waiting on y'all.
Yeah, no, for real.
But,
for real.
Well, that's good. Do you have any new projects or anything that you want to promote or let people know?
I don't have no new projects coming. It's more so I done did so much music that I'm focusing more now on videos and different, like, promo and different things like that. So it's gonna be some music videos coming. I've been trying to stack up on those, and cause I see now, like, everything is what you look like, your face, being in people's face, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I gotta get in front of the camera a little more and do a little more, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's really just videos, and then I might start streaming.
Oh, really?
Like vlogging, yeah.
Do
so,
it.
Like,
hey, people get really entertained off
they
that.
really do. Like, and I didn't understand, because, like, we didn't grow up in that era, you know what I mean? But, like, people really be invested in, like, your everyday life and, like, just, like, your thought process and how you came to certain things and different things,
especially
like that.
if they relate.
Yeah.
Like, authenticity goes a long way. I think that would
Facts. And then, like, I think a lot of things that, like, that these, like, top streamers and stuff picked up on is that once the audience, like, gets to know who you are and they fall in love with you, that's when they're invested. Yeah. And they, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm rocking with you. Yeah. Because I know the type of character, I know what type of person you is, you know what I mean? And I fuck with that. Yeah. Like, yeah, so.
The only thing I would say is just be prepared for the trolls.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
You seem like you got strong mental fortitude, but when I tell you they just do shit that I'm like,
I believe
what
it.
in the
I
world?
believe it.
Like, you don't feel no type of way saying this? Like, I don't feel
Nah.
like a punk, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is strange. The people out there are strange.
Yeah. People say anything. People
But
say anything.
you got it. You'll be
And
good.
I seen that too from when like, and just the growth in myself from when I first started doing music, and the people that was talking shit and saying this and saying that. I'm trying to debunk everything, and you know what I mean, and explain myself. And now it's like, hey, people gonna say what they want to say.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta
fuck
let them
them.
believe
Like,
what they want to
like,
believe.
oh, you tuned in, you gave me a stream, thank you.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. There you
like,
go. There you go.
Shit, hell
Well,
yeah.
Blue, before we wrap up, what are the key things you've learned out of life?
Key things I learned out of life is stand on your morals and principles. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what's gonna keep you. Like, no matter your situation, no matter where you come from, you stand on your morals and principles, and you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Integrity goes a long way.
Integrity go a long way. Like, and people see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's felt.
It's
for
felt
sure.
for sure.
You know when you meet someone solid for sure.
Yeah, that authenticity. You can't deny that. You can't deny it. People, you know what I mean? It's I think Wale said, you ain't gotta tell people you real, they gonna feel it.
Yes, 100%.
And you feel it. You feel it. Energies is real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's a gem. Thank you so much. That pretty much wraps up the podcast. I think that was really good to showcase like who you are.
Yeah, thank you
the
for
more
having
deeper
me.
side of your mind.
Yeah.
Thank you for making the drive out here. I really
problem,
appreciate
sure.
meeting you and all that. We could tap it up. I'm trying to get used to being a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know the word, but being a little bit more hands on with my guests.
No, I appreciate you and your husband for real for fucking with me. That shit mean a lot. Like, especially because it's a lot of people that I felt like wasn't fucking with me for real.
Yeah.
And so I could feel when, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's genuine. And y'all was fucking with me when wasn't nobody fucking with me. Like, when I was ready to, like, okay, I'm finna check out because this is not, you know what I mean? And then he hit me like, bro, I fuck with your music, bro. Like, I gotta get you on my white podcast. And I'm like, man, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, okay, that gave me a little bit more motivation to keep going. We finna, you know what I mean? Put some more shit out.
I'm so glad. That makes me hella happy because he's always keeping his eye out, trying to see like, okay. And he likes unique people with unique sound. He loves music.
Yeah.
He loves music. So when he tells me about somebody, I'm always like, okay, hold on. I gotta really, check it out. And sure enough, you were one of the ones
I appreciate y'all
immediately. I was like, he's different.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for real.
I wish you all the well and all the best in any endeavor in your life. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.